Hello there fellow acolytes of Sega Saturn, and welcome to yet another Saturn Gems video. The series where I look at a variety of different classics for the system, including hidden gems, well-known games, imports, local games, expensive games and cheap games. Hopefully there's something there for everyone. First we're going to start off with a bit of a cheap game. It's pretty much a gem as well, but let's look into it. It's Lost World Jurassic Park. Lost World is a platforming game, and it's not like the Jurassic Park game that was on the Mega Drive that you may also have played. This one actually has 5 different characters to play as. You can play as the Compy, the Velociraptor, the T-Rex, the Human Hunter and the Human Prey. Each one plays quite differently from one another. As the Compy, you can kill smaller dinosaurs, but you mainly have to be careful. As the Velociraptor, you're a fair bit of a hunter, but you're not particularly thick-skinned. As the T-Rex, as you can imagine, you're quite powerful, but you're also very slow and very cumbersome to control. The human characters are also quite fragile, as you can probably figure out. Although the Human Hunter has a fair bit of an arsenal and a fair bit of firepower to use. The Human Prey does as well, but you're definitely in a bit more of a vulnerable position and you need to be escaping rather than killing. The game does well with the progression too. You start off as a Compy and you gradually build yourself into stronger and stronger dinosaurs, going from the Velociraptor to the T-Rex. The Human Hunter as well is a nice little diversion from the dinosaur play. And then the Human Prey, even though it's one of the weaker characters, because the end part, the finale, is to escape, it definitely fits well. The game looks really well and it's quite beautiful to look at. The music as well is also pretty good too. Everything has a very kind of Jurassic Park feel, and it has a very authentic feel to the films. As such, whilst you're playing it, even though it doesn't follow the story of the films, you definitely have that kind of Jurassic Park vibe while you're playing, and it really is quite immersive. The game isn't perfect though, let's not beat around the bush. The platform itself is kind of uninspiring. It never gets particularly inventive with its level design, and the thrill of the game really is being involved in this world of dinosaurs, either killing dinosaurs, escaping from dinosaurs, or being a dinosaur. So yeah, if that kind of thing is your bag, then this game's probably going to be right up your alley. It does have a fair amount of unfortunate technical issues. The hit detection is particularly bad. This can make some of the platforming quite annoying. For the most part, you can generally do it with trial and error and you can usually get past it, but there are some areas where it's difficult, if not impossible to do. There's a couple of levels as a Human Hunter, for example, where you need to use a grappling hook, but the grappling hook doesn't seem to want to grapple, and it makes these really tight platforming sections really quite difficult. It's a shame because the grappling hook is really fun to use. There are passwords for the game and level selects and whatnot, so if you are really struggling, you can use those to kind of bypass any particularly troublesome areas. The saving grace for the game really is the price. The price is dirt cheap. You can pick it up for 10-15 quid. It really is a budget title. If you're into dinosaurs, I would say it's definitely worth picking up. If not, then maybe skip this one. The next game on the list is quite an interesting title. It's one that was a Japan exclusive. Silhouette Mirage is a weird game to categorise. It's sort of a run and gun game. The main concept is that there are 2 different factions in the game, the Silhouettes and the Mirages, and each one has a weakness to the other. If you hit Silhouettes with a Mirage gun, it's going to deal damage to them. If you hit it with the Silhouette gun, then it actually drains their stamina or willpower and reduces their number of attacks. It's quite an interesting mechanic and it's very weird to use, but it's also kind of fun. Being a treasure game, this game features quite a lot of bosses to take down, and some of them are pretty inventive. The bosses are all very varied and the levels are also quite varied too. Unfortunately, there are 2 enemy types in the game which you'll probably see over and over again because they're the 2 main enemy types, and they do tend to get a little bit old after a while. the game is still fun while it lasts. The major flaw with the game is that there's no real save function, and you have to do everything in one sitting. On the bright side, the game does have a level select code, so even though there is no save function, you can pick up where you left off if you really want to. For a system that does 2D platformers really well, I would say that Silhouette Mirage is definitely one you want to add to your collection. It's very unique and it runs very well on the Saturn. It's also not too difficult to get into with the Japanese. There are some things that may leave you scratching your head. For example, in the tutorial there's one part that I simply don't know how to do. However, the tutorial is completely optional, so you can just skip it and do without it. The game isn't the cheapest, it goes for about 40-50 quid. However, if you like platforming games, I would definitely say give it a shot. The next game on my list is Destruction Derby. This has a certain element of nostalgia going for it, because I played this game as a child on the PC. However, even though I played it a little bit as a child, I never really touched the game until very recently when I picked it up. It's a dirt cheap game, it costs like a £5, which is an absolute bargain for this title, to be honest. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's a racing game where the mechanic is that the cars are very destructible. Both your car and the opponent's cars get beaten up pretty badly and can get in very poor shape. If your car gets wrecked, you're eliminated. Most of the courses are races, and they're in tracks that are designed so that you're going to hit people, unless you're very careful, of course. The link finishes with a big free-for-all where everyone trashes each other's cars, and it's a fight to the last man standing. It's really manic, but it's good fun. It's not the most beautiful game in the world, and it's probably not the most well designed, but it's got a really cool concept, and honestly, it's just a lot of fun. It's easy to pick up and play, either alone or with friends, and you're gonna have a blast. Definitely for the price point, I would say Destruction Derby is worth grabbing. The next game on my list is an interesting title. Again, this game had a fair amount of nostalgia for me growing up. I actually grew up with Worms Armageddon on the PC. However, this one is the original Worms. Worms, of course, is a Team 17 classic that is very well beloved by a lot of people in my generation. As I mentioned, I haven't actually played the original game until I bought it for my Saturn, but it works surprisingly well. You start to get a bit worried when the game loads up because even though it has nice cutscenes, you're controlling the menu using a mouse cursor, which of course screams PC port. As we discussed in Lemmings 3D, this isn't always the best thing. However, with Worms, I'm happy to say that it works quite well. The main menus may be cursor controlled, but everything is mapped really well to the controller in-game. You can select from a variety of different weapons with the press of a button, jump, fire, change the camera, and so on. If you're not familiar with Worms, the general concept is that the game throws you into randomly generated scenery, and you control a team of worms trying to wipe out the others. You have an arsenal of different weapons at your disposal, which range from quite conventional weapons like a shotgun and a bazooka, to more interesting weapons. The weapons, the environments, and the worms themselves all have a really fantastic charm to them. As I say, there are FMV cutscenes which are really funny to watch. They're completely not necessary because there's no story to the game. It's basically just worm v worm. But you know, it's a massive amount of fun. You can play with multiple human opponents. You can play with multiple computer opponents. There's not really a story mode or anything like that. But to be honest, this game really doesn't need it. It's a blast to play, no pun intended, whether you're alone or with friends. The game is surprisingly tactical, but it's something you can easily get your head around. Even if you've never played a Worms game before, it's going to be quite easy to dip into and enjoy. The game's also very cheap. You can pick up for 5 to 10 quid. As such, I would definitely say it's worth adding to your collection. Now, the final game on my list is a game that no doubt many people have been waiting for, and that's Nights into Dreams. Nights into Dreams is definitely my pick for this video. A lot of people classify it as a platforming game, and I would say it's just more of an arcade experience. The levels themselves aren't particularly hard, and the difficulty lies in getting a good grade and a good score at the end. As you play through the game, you'll notice that your rank is generally pretty low after the first few levels. As you start to replay the game and you learn the levels, you'll see that your score's getting better and better and you'll get better and better grades. It really is one of those games that's designed more around replaying for better scores rather than having a one and done experience. You control knights, which is a weird jester type thing that flies through the air. You fly through rings, you collect orbs, and you go through these various different circuits, and at the end of each one you face a boss. The levels themselves are mostly really well designed. I'm not a fan of the first level in the game, which I covered when I did Christmas Nights, but the other levels are all really well done. You go through underwater segments, you go on like a sled at one point, you do all these different things which add variety to the experience, and you'll probably have a smile on your face as you're playing through it. The bosses themselves are all really good. I end up plumping for the Japanese version, which is extremely cheap and is predominantly in English. By the second level, the game got really fun and it just went up from there. Both characters are really fun to play with, and by the time you finish the game you'll have an excellent time. It's a game that you'll finish and you'll actually want to go back and replay the levels because it is a lot of fun. The game has a surprising amount of depth to it, and there's even like a weird hidden sub-game involving the Nightopians, which I'm not going to spoil. I'll just say, see if you can discover it yourself. It's quite interesting thing, and apparently that idea led to the Chow Garden in Sonic Adventure. Knights is not a particularly expensive game to get. I bought my Japanese version for about £5, but I think the PAL English version is maybe about 15-20 quid, so it is definitely a game worth picking up. A lot of people consider it to be the best game on the Sega Saturn, and whilst I disagree and probably wouldn't even put it in my top 10, I would still say it's a damn good game and definitely worth having for your collection. So those were the games that we covered this time. We had Lost World Jurassic Park, Silhouette Mirage, Destruction Derby, Worms, and finally Night into Dreams. Have you played any of these games? If so, drop a comment below, tell me what you think. If you have any suggestions for future videos, then again let me know. Thanks a lot, bye.